Nelson Mandela is one of the most influential figures of the 20th century, a name synonymous with the fight for freedom, justice, and human dignity. But his story is more than just one of triumph. It's a tale of perseverance, sacrifice, and the unyielding belief that change is possible, no matter the cost. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in the village of Mvezo, located in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. His father, Gadla Henry Mfakanyiswa, was a local chief, and Mandela was born into a family with royal roots within the Thembu tribe. Mandela's early life was shaped by the traditions of his people, but it was also marked by the arrival of apartheid in South Africa, a system of institutionalized racial segregation that would haunt the country for decades to come. Mandela's father passed away when he was just 9 years old, and this loss set in motion a series of events that would shape his future. He was sent to live with a guardian, Jongintaba Dalindyebo, the regent of the Thembu people, who would become a father figure to him. It was through this guardian that Mandela first became exposed to the world of leadership, politics, and justice. Mandela's early education was in the village school, but it was his time at the University of Fort Hare, an institution for the black elite, that exposed him to the ideas of equality and justice. However, Mandela was not someone to simply accept the status quo. While at Fort Hare, he became involved in student protests against the university's administration, a move that would set the stage for his activism later in life. After his expulsion from the university for participating in a student protest, Mandela moved to Johannesburg to complete his law degree at the University of Witwatersrand. While in Johannesburg, Mandela encountered firsthand the stark reality of South Africa's racially segregated society. Here, he joined the African National Congress, an organization that was committed to fighting apartheid. At the time, the ANC was a relatively small political party, but Mandela quickly became a leading figure in its efforts to dismantle apartheid. It was during this time that Mandela met Walter Sisulu, a key figure in the ANC who would become his mentor and guide. Sisulu introduced Mandela to the world of politics, and together they began working toward the goal of creating a South Africa where all people, regardless of race, could live together in equality and peace. But the road to this vision was not easy. In the 1940s, Mandela, along with other ANC leaders, began organizing campaigns to challenge the apartheid system. The ANC adopted a policy of non-violent resistance, but the government responded with increasing repression, passing more and more laws that targeted the black population. Despite this, Mandela's activism continued to grow, and he became one of the most prominent voices against apartheid. By the early 1950s, Mandela was one of the leaders of the ANC's Defiance campaign, which called for mass nonviolent protests against apartheid laws. The campaign was a turning point in the struggle, but it also led to significant government crackdowns. Mandela was arrested multiple times, and in 1961 he was forced to go underground, fearing for his safety after a series of ANC leaders were arrested. It was during this time that Mandela took on a new role, the leader of an armed struggle against apartheid. Mandela's embrace of armed struggle came after years of failed negotiations with the apartheid government. It was not an easy decision for him, but Mandela believed that the South African government had left no other option. In 1961, the ANC formed a military wing called Umkhonto we Sizwe, which carried out acts of sabotage against government infrastructure. Mandela, who had gone into hiding, became its first commander-in-chief. In 1962, Mandela was arrested for leaving the country illegally to seek support for the ANC's activities. The next year, he was put on trial for sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government. His trial, known as the Rivonia Trial, was one of the most significant events in South African history. Mandela and his co-defendants were charged with planning acts of sabotage against the apartheid state, At the trial, Mandela delivered a powerful speech in which he declared his commitment to the struggle, stating, "I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities." Despite his stirring words, Mandela was sentenced to life imprisonment. He was sent to Robben Island, a notorious prison off the coast of Cape Town, where he would spend the next 18 years of his life in harsh conditions. Robben Island was a place of isolation, and Mandela was forced to work in a lime quarry, enduring physical and mental exhaustion. His letters and writings from T.